Oh, hey guys, welcome back to Too Far Gone Media. Marc Couture here, and first and foremost, guys, I want to go downtown and do some live feeds, and I can't because I don't have enough subs. So if you could, please, give me a sub so I can get enough to actually do live feeds, and yeah, I would eternally be grateful. Now to get to the subject, I had to spend about 6 hours of hair pulling moments to get you this nice 10-minute condensed thing. Now, I did have to edit 2 bits and pieces out, and that's because the yelling kind of got out of hand and it's just incoherent sounds. There's not really any point. So I removed that to save you from mental stress. And I just want to put a disclaimer out there. If you're of Judaism faith, or if you had anything to do with being a descendant of a Holocaust member or something like that, this is really going to be hurtful towards you. And that's not what it's meant to do. I just want you to see the complete inept and inability for our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, to be empowered anymore. He's just not there for us anymore. And anyways, sorry if you are of that faith, but it's not going to be nice. So here we go.
Optimistic, hopeful vision for public life isn't a naive dream. It could be a powerful force for change. If Canadians are to trust their government needs to trust Canadians. Those are the words of the Prime Minister in 2015. These people, very often misogynistic, racist, women haters, science deniers, the fringe. Same Prime Minister 6 years later as he fans the flames of an unjustified national emergency. So, Mr. Speaker, when did the Prime Minister lose his way? When did it happen?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, Conservative Party members can stand with people who wave swastikas. They can stand with people who wave the Confederate flag. We will choose to stand with Canadians who deserve to be able to get to their jobs, who be able to get their lives back. These illegal protests need to stop, and they will, Mr. Speaker.
Thornhill.
Unbecoming as a Prime Minister. It's been 48 hours that the government went from doing nothing to a national emergency. 48 hours into using the measures. 48 hours without providing Parliament with a justification. So my question is simple. When will the Prime Minister admit that he's lost control of the situation, that he's lost control of his country, that he's lost control of his caucus, and that he's lost control of his leadership?
Mr. Speaker, I've never seen such shameful and dishonourable remarks coming from this Prime Minister. My great-grandfather flew over 30 missions over Nazi Germany. My great-great-uncle's body lies at the bottom of the English Channel. There are members of this Conservative caucus who are the descendants of victims of the Holocaust. For the Prime Minister to accuse any colleague in this House of standing with the swastika is shameful. I'm giving the Prime Minister an opportunity. I'm calling on him to unreservedly apologize for this shameful remark.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians deserve their freedoms back. Mr. Speaker, these illegal blockades that have continued to interfere with people's livelihoods, to interfere with people's daily lives,
have to interrupt the Honourable Prime Minister, so ask everyone to calm down so we can hear the answer. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the measures put forward in this Emergencies Act are proportional, are responsible, and quite frankly, are completely folded within the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. The steps that we are taking are important and measured to restore order and freedoms to Canadians in this country. That is exactly what we are doing.
Well, member for Sturgeon River Parkland.
Mr. Speaker, the lack of an apology from that Prime Minister speaks volumes. I have given this Prime Minister an opportunity to retract a shameful remark where he would accuse any honourable member of this House to stand with a swastika. As I said before, we have colleagues who are the descendants of victims of the Holocaust. I'm giving the Prime Minister one more chance. Will he apologize to all members of this House?
The right honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, even as the members of the Conservative Party are calling to us to take more action over the past 2 weeks on this, they continued to stand with and encourage these illegal blockades. Mr. Speaker, Canadians are watching carefully and see exactly where the Conservative politicians who've stood with those blockades are standing. We will stand on the side of Canadians who deserve their lives back, who deserve their livelihoods back.
Member for Sturgeon River Parkland.
My apologies, Mr. Speaker. I didn't write these out. But the fact is, I don't know how any member of the government caucus can stand by this Prime Minister when he accuses honourable members of this House of standing with a swastika. I'm calling on all members of the Liberal caucus to denounce the Prime Minister. I have given him 2 chances to apologize. He has refused to apologize. Mr. Prime Minister, apologize.
Now we have a point of order. The honourable member for Thornhill.
Mr. Speaker, I am a strong Jewish woman and a member of this House and a descendant of Holocaust survivors, and I have never it's never been singled out, and I have never been made to feel less, except for today when the Prime Minister accused me of standing with swastikas. I think he owes me an apology. I'd like an apology, and I think he owes an apology to all members of this House.
Order. I want to encourage all members to be as judicious as possible when using words in this chamber. And to reflect on what they say on all cases. On a point of order, the honourable member for Regina Capel.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And I just want to carry on with the point that was made by my colleague from Thornhill. You'll know, Mr. Speaker, that when comments made in the House are so injurious, so insulting, and so unparliamentary, they rise to the level of a question of privilege, Mr. Speaker. And as you know, you have the ability to rule on that immediately. What the Prime Minister did, I won't even go into the hypocrisy of the man who did blackface so often he can't remember it, accusing somebody else of doing anything remotely racist. But his comments made to a Jewish member of this House are beyond unparliamentary. They are reprehensible, and I would ask that you rule that this rises to the level of a question of privilege, and I am prepared to move the appropriate motion, Mr. Speaker.
I will take that under advisement and return to the House should I see fit. We have someone else who has a point of order as well. The same point. Okay, we'll carry on. The Honourable Minister for... I'm sorry, I was going to say families, yes.
Emotions are obviously running very high right now, and I think it's incumbent on all of us to take a step back and reflect on what the values of this House are. I am also a proud Jewish woman who is the descendant of Holocaust survivors, and my family found refuge and support and a life in this country. And Mr. Speaker, we must listen to each other, and we must assure that no one in this House is standing with those who support white supremacy, who support Nazi views, who look to contribute and enable racist views. And Mr. Speaker, I would ask that all of us in this House use our words judiciously, including the member opposite who just yelled out something completely inappropriate, because all of us have reason to be here, and I would call on the members opposite not to stand with those who are sharing those views, because how does it feel as a person in this House seeing colleagues taking pictures with people who are looking to overthrow the government? That's what I ask those colleagues to do.
Matt Kingston.
Mr. Speaker, I don't think we should engage in an exercise in comparative victimhood credentials here. I will observe that I, too, have Jewish ancestors. My grandmother was born in Bialystok. She came here, fortunately, before the Holocaust occurred. But of the 10,000 Jewish residents of Bialystok when she left, only 500 survived World War II. I would just say that it's not for the member opposite, although I know she spoke sincerely to speak out on this. It is for the Prime Minister to come back and retract his words. The Prime Minister is very good at apologizing for acts that took place before he was born by people he wasn't involved in. It's time for him to take responsibility for his own words and apologize for what he said.
All right, so you guys kind of saw what I was referring to there. I'm a very angry person inside. I won't deny that. But that didn't even make me angry. That broke my fucking heart. That was... I mean, I'm almost speechless. And that's not a common thing for me. I don't know. I'm starting to lose faith in my government as a whole. Because the House Speaker didn't even force him to correct or apologize. So who's that House Speaker work for? You and me? Or Trudeau? This is Marc Couture for Too Far Gone Media. Thank you all for watching. Love you. Be safe out there, my brothers and sisters. And stay sexy, Canada. Ow, ow. Chicka, chicka.